A lot of kids struggle with tests, and it's very frustrating when kids, will study and study and study and then get into the test and then not perform well. It's very discouraging to spend a lot of time working at that and then get a lower grade. So what drives that? Well, there's several factors, but there's a common issue that can pop up for kids called test anxiety, right? And so test anxiety is where we've all experienced that a little bit, where you freeze up on the test. You feel stressed while taking the test, and that absolutely is going to affect performance. What causes test anxiety? Well, there can be multiple factors. One is that, a student might understand it, but not really know it. So what's the difference? It's a matter of mastery. Are they mastering the information? And if, that first question comes on the test that they're maybe not expecting, if they don't fully master what they studied, all of a sudden they're struggling to answer, which can then set the tone for the remainder of the test where they're stressed out. So the difference between the two would be, for example, we're in Minnesota, we do a lot of skiing. Well, I didn't start skiing till I was an adult. But you know what? I know how to ski. Like, I know how to place my skis. I know how to shift my weight when I'm skiing and trying to turn and things like that. But I'm terrible at it. And it's so frustrating because I'm going down the hill and I've got like 7-year-olds flying by me, totally in control. And I'm just like trying not to fall or run into somebody down the hill. I know about skiing, but I've not mastered it. Well, that's the difference. And if your child hasn't mastered it, they're going to struggle, especially when they're pushed or asked to go deeper on a subject. The other areas that often cause test anxiety are cognitive skill weaknesses, one of those being long-term memory weaknesses. So long-term memory is our ability to retain information, right? And so, there's kids who study for the test, then get into the test and all of a sudden can't remember, right? We've all been there, and that does not feel good, and it feels stressful. The clock's ticking, you can't remember what you studied. That's a key skill. The other is processing speed weaknesses. So processing speed is how fast your brain functions. And for kids where they can't process as quickly, they're at a huge disadvantage with time-based tests. And those can be finals, quizzes, or a lot of kids who take ACT or SAT tests. Those are time tests. They cause a lot of stress. And the dynamic there is everyone is up turning their paper in except the child with low processing speed, and that feels stressful. So usually one of two things happen. One is it causes stress, but then also either kids rush through it, they don't want to be seen as the last one, and then they get a lot wrong, careless mistakes, or they just never finish. And so the key to improving test anxiety, one is just make sure there's mastery of the material, spend the time mastering it and really understanding it, but then also get tested to see if there's cognitive skill weaknesses that might be driving some of those issues.